Welcome to the forecast. With me today, we have Garrett. Garrett, how you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing good.
Garrett and Marvin solo show. Alex is busy trying to find the weather by standing outside. We'll see how that works out.
Hey, he's trying to get back to us. You might be a couple minutes.
We can tell you the books that come out for Wednesday, May 31st, 2017. The fifth Wednesday in May. Usually means nothing comes out, but there's some things coming out.
Yeah, usually those are like the unicorn weeks because you save some money, but kind of not really this week.
Yeah, I thought it was only gonna be about 21 for me, but then I checked and there were a couple things that I forgot, and so it's closer to 30. But I mean, it's not.
It's cheaper than normal.
Yeah, it's just not a dead week, but we'll see how that goes.
Right.
Speaking of dead, Dark Horse Comics, Aliens Dead Orbit #2, coming out tomorrow. James Stokey doing the art, writing the whole thing. First one looked great. I didn't get a chance to read the first one yet, but I'm going to pick up that second
really?
one. No, I haven't read it yet.
It's pretty good. Yeah, it kind of ties into like the whole, like more like, I don't know why it says Aliens Dead Orbit, but maybe there's more. I don't know. I get more of a like alien feel, like the first movie. But
yeah, more horror than action.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess that was the first issue of 4, so who knows?
Possible. Maybe I think the first one was called Alien. Maybe now it's Aliens, and then.
Oh shit! That would freaking blow my mind.
Dark Horse has 3 other books coming out, but we don't get them, so I can't really comment on them. Joe Golem, Visitor, How and Why He Stayed, and Lobster Johnson. But we'll go move on to DC Comics. DC has a few too. Only they got 3 annuals and a regular comic. Flash 23. Coming out. Now this looks like I pulled this up real quick. It doesn't look like so. It's the start of a new story, a prelude.
Right.
So it sounds like it might be almost like a one shot that you could pick up and read.
Well, I know that it's got a tour of like the Flash Museum in there.
Okay.
I saw that's coming up. Because I thought the next story arc was like the negative Flash or whatever, but.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, there's something with Flash and Nightwing. Both of them recently. I thought I saw where I saw the solicits and saw where the story was going, and then they pivoted and put something else on instead. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I know with Flash, it was the whole because they had to push back an issue so that Joshua Williamson could finish that Button storyline.
Oh yeah.
That's the only reason for Flash. I don't know about Nightwing, though. Maybe because Tim Seeley's going to Hellblazer kind of thing.
So is Flash Nightwing supposed to be out this week? It just got pushed back, and so it happened to go out this week? Okay, so this week we'll just swip in the annuals. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. They're fixing it so that it's back to its normal.
Oh, I see. Okay. Speaking of these one-shots, see, if for anybody who doesn't know what an annual is, if you're new to comic books, usually it depends. Sometimes they are part of a story, and they're just bigger issues. Sometimes, though, they're just one-shots. So we'll see. Speaking of part of a story, though, Teen Titans Lazarus Contract Special #1. This is the conclusion to this Lazarus Contract crossover.
Yep, part 4. So I actually read part 1 through 3 today, and it's pretty good. I mean, I don't know. Deathstroke seems kind of out of place in this story, but I know why he's there. It's because he's always been a big threat of the Titans, Teen Titans, so... I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but, I'm excited to see where this conclusion goes, because basically it's Deathstroke, so this is spoilers, wielding the Speed Force, so could be cool.
Yeah, so it looks like in the cover here. Trinity Annual #1. Now, so I saw this, and I was like, oh, sweet, Trinity's getting an annual. And then I pulled it up, and it's Manpole's not even on it. It's Rob Williams writing it, and then Gilliam March doing the art. And it looks
that just sounds like filler to me.
You know those 2 issues of filler? It's going back to that story.
You mean Trinity?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like Colin Bunn kind of thing?
Yeah, the Colin Bunn stuff, the Lex Luthor and the Cersei and stuff like that. It's going to go back to that story. So, I don't know about that one. I guess I might check it out. I might not. See, the thing is like, if you get Trinity, I know you and Alex probably would get it, right? That's part of the thing.
Right.
For me, I see it as an opportunity just not to get this thing.
Hey, it'd save $5, and that does kind of bother me that usually an annual's there because it's either going to set up a story, but there's sometimes filler annuals where they're just like, hey, how about we just make $5 extra this month?
That Cullen Bunn 2-issue thing, I was just like, oh, that's okay. Now it's like, do you want to pay for an annual too? That's going to be longer and $5. I'm like, not sure if I do.
Right. It's cool. It's a Ra's al Ghul story and Lex Luthor, but
so if that sounds interesting to you, then I would pick it up. But I guess what I've read of it, I really didn't like. So, Wonder Woman annual #1. Now this is an instance when they used an annual to basically be like an anthology book. There's going to be 4 stories, I believe. Yeah, 4 tales. Greg Rucka telling one of them with Nick Scott doing a year 1. First time she meets Superman and Batman. That should be fun.
Yeah. This one, like, this annual looks legit. Like, it has good creative teams on there, and, like, I think they got to be pulling out the big guns, you know, especially because Wonder Woman's coming out this week. You know, you got to have a good Wonder Woman story, because, like, if this annual is lukewarm and you go and see a kick-ass movie, it's going to be like, well, why did you put out this shitty comic?
Yeah, this one seems like they planned it ahead of time.
Right.
Well,
this is one of Greg Rucka's last Wonder Woman tales for the current time. I know he's got like an issue or 2 left on Wonder Woman, but this is getting close to wrapping up all his stuff.
It is, yeah. And actually, we can actually for sure say that this one was made more there was more planning on this one than there was for Trinity, because Trinity is going to be telling the story of those Cullen Bunn issues. Those Cullen Bunn issues were last minute fill-ins. They weren't supposed to happen. So we know that this annual has to be written within the last 2 months or 3 months. So
yeah, it's probably like he wanted to finish. He thought he was going to be on there longer, finish the story. And he was like, well, what about my story? And everyone's like, we don't give a shit. We'll give you an annual.
We'll put in the annual. Yeah. So
yeah.
IDW, nothing really there. Actually, I'm curious. Alex is not on the show, but I'm sure he would have gone crazy for TMNT Amazing Adventures Robo Animals #1.
Jesus.
Turtles, animals, and robots. And I was like, that's Alex. I don't know if he'll
you barely get me on TMNT, let alone adding robot animals in there.
And it's like, the cartoon version. It's not even like the comic version of Turtles. It's like,
and oddly, he really loves that Nickelodeon cartoon.
Yeah, he does. I try to watch it.
I can't really get into it.
No, I can't.
It's too kiddie.
Image Comics, we have Black Science #30. You don't read Black Science, do you?
Nope. I got the first trade, but I haven't read it yet.
It's good. This is a book that if you told me from trade 1, the first arc, and where we are now, it's like way different. So like this is a book that always like surprises you. So I'm excited to see where we are with 30. It's ending very soon, I believe. 35, if I remember correctly. So it's, it's one of the last few that we'll get. So I'm excited to read that. Hadrian's Wall, #7 of 8. We're almost done with Hadrian's Wall. Where are you overall with this series? Going into this penultimate issue, are you excited for this ending? Or
I've actually been really enjoying this story. I mean, with issue 4 and 5, where they introduced the space pirates, that kind of was starting to take me away from it. But then I think they used it to their advantage, like with issue 5 and 6. So I'm liking. It could have gone south, but it's still very positive in my opinion. And I'm like, I still don't know who the hell did it, and there's 2 issues left. So that's nice that I know it's going to be resolved very quickly.
Yeah, I like that it's a mini. It's not ongoing. Rob Rice on art. Rod Rice is also going to be doing art for Secret Empire this issue, so we'll talk about that in a second here.
Right. And you know what? I think, like, I just love Kyle Higgins and Rod Rice together.
They are good together, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I
think they need to do another book, but they are very slow when they work together. So
I think now, at this point, like Rod Rice is doing like Secret Empire, his stature's kind of elevated recently, and Kyle Higgins is like Kyle Higgins just got announced he was doing something. I forgot what it was. Like this one.
He's doing a Nightwing mini.
That's what it is. So, like, they're both coming back, or Kyle Higgins is coming back, and Rod is, like, increasing his value. Come back and do Cal again. I think you got enough stature to come back, like, do the return.
Yeah.
I think you got enough.
I would love Cal to come back.
I would. That'd be the most hyped thing I've before. Kill or Be Killed #9. Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips, Elizabeth Brewmeister. We got the 9th issue in Kill or Be Killed. Where are you with this now? Are you still into this, or are you getting lukewarm on this?
No, I'm actually still liking it. Like, you know how I think it was issue 6 where they went for the perspective of his lady friend? And 6 or 7, yeah. Yeah, and so what I'm confused about is, like, they did that issue, and now they're back to the main narrative, and I was kind of like, well, how can we spend some time there, and now we're just going to stay? I mean, like, I like Dylan's story, obviously, because that's the whole premise of the book is, but, like, now I'm kind of missing more with other characters, because it makes it seem grander in scope when you're more than one point of view, but now it's back to just Dylan's, and I'm like, still good, but I'm like,
I think the best issue I liked was the one about the detective. And telling her story. I thought that was the best issue. And I do like Dylan a lot, you're right, but there's something about him that's kind of like, not as interesting as like those two, I think at least.
Right, because it's nice to see that world from somebody else's perspective, because you don't...
Yeah.
Because again, we're still wondering if Dylan's crazy or if he's sane and seeing the devil, we don't know
right.
yet.
He's unreliable, so it's nice to get somebody like the detective where we know everything she's seen is real. And it kind of clears up something. So I still like it a lot. It's not that I'm complaining about it. I like it a lot. It's one of my favorite books. So.
Oh, same. Absolutely.
It's 9 issues in. If it sounds interesting at all to you, I would say it's one book that I would go back and at least get the trades or try to find those issues if you want to catch up.
Right. Even alone for the essays in the back, like those are great essays.
Those won't be collected. Don't collect those, so that is actually worth it alone. Like especially that first arc's essays, I thought were really excellent about what the genre is. And then the second half has been, God, what have they been about? I forgot. Each arc has like a theme that they talk about. It's different things. It's good. Are you still into Monstrous?
I actually dropped that after reading issue 11. Like, I just kind of feel burned out on this book because they promised like it's a kaiju story.
Yeah.
And it's not really. And it's a weird, like they mix like a cat universe in here. So like there's like a Professor Tum Tum or Tam Tam or something.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just kind of getting all over the place. I know Alex still gets it. So I know he's pumped for the next issue. And like the art is phenomenal. But I just can't stick around for like the weird ass story anymore.
That was the thing when I used to read this book, and if you go to WednesdayComics.com and read any of my reviews, for this, I was always like, this is pretty... Art-wise, it was excellent. Every single issue. Art was amazing. Story-wise, it was like she was trying to tell like too much of a story and didn't know how just to, tell a focused thing. She was always trying to build a world rather than, let the character discover the world, and that's how you'll build it. So she was always like... thinking too grand for a story. I think it was like too wide of a scope, and that I think kind of bogs it down because then it's like you said, it's introducing all these worlds when you're like, just tell a story that like tell a simple story at first and get us used to it first.
Right, exactly. Because like there's parts where I'm so freaking confused, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't care enough. Like the art is the only good thing about this.
Yeah, that was all the thing for me too. Monsters 12 though, if you want to get it, Alex still gets it. He likes it. Pack list number 1. I don't know what this is, but it's coming out tomorrow. Image number 1 is usually our popular, so if you want to check out something new, go ahead and get that tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't get this anymore. Alex still does. I dropped this because this book comes out like... Well, now it's coming out. Now that I dropped it, it's proven a point, but it used to come out like once a year. Sex Criminals number 19. The only thing is like, that's a series that started with a lot... It was like so great. Like the first arc, and then eventually it should have been a mini. That's what it should have been. Now it seems like the concept was the greatest part of this, and like now they're like running the concept into the ground, I think. So anyways, Alex will get to it. He likes it.
So you're not getting it anymore?
No, I don't get it anymore.
Wow. Hey, the way you guys talked about it, you love that book.
I did, yeah. And then eventually it's like, you can only do so much of the concept. Eventually it has to execute on something else. And then if it doesn't, then it's like, it keeps going back to like, hey, but they can stop time. And it's like, hey, all right.
Yeah, it's like it alienates fans enough, like especially when you're collecting on the regular, but you don't get it regularly.
And plus, if it's like once a year, it's like, then what am I doing? What are we doing here? I could still keep getting it because it's once a year. Like, it's not really costing me that much to keep getting it. But then what's the point of me getting it? Like, if I ever want to get back into it, I might as well just get a trade and then read the whole thing. It's going to be more satisfying than reading 22 pages a year.
Exactly.
Think Tank Volume 5, Number 3. Do you still get Think Tank? Think Tank?
No, that's one I kind of wish I stayed on. Because there was like a time where I just was dropping books and trying to get back, like saving money. And God, I shoot myself in the foot with that one because I really enjoyed that series. And like, I would love to go back, but now there's so many freaking things. I'm like, I'm so far outside of it. I'm just like, shit, I should have stayed on it. But
Volume 5, that thing restarted a lot.
It's got a lot of like side series, like Think Tank, Animal. It's got a lot of different mini series involved in it.
Oh, I see. Okay, so now they're just saying this is the 5th one to make it easier to know which one you got to read. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it for Image Comics, I think. Is there anything else in there you want to talk about?
Nope. I think you got it covered.
Marvel Comics. Are you okay? So there's a new #1 tomorrow. Cable #1. Are you getting Cable #1?
See, I really like the art, but I read the preview and the script was just kind of terrible for me. Like it was just kind of campy, and I'm like, God, do I really want to spend $4 extra a month now? I mean, I'm gonna look at it tomorrow, so it's potential, but I'm kind of on the fence of probably no.
James Robinson, yeah, he can be kind of campy sometimes, so that doesn't surprise me, but I guess it depends.
Like that cover looks so fucking good.
Yeah, Cable coming out. I mean, no, I think Alex likes Bishop. I don't think he likes Cable. I guess I don't know if he's getting that. Let's see here. What else do we have here for Marvel?
Let's see.
Generation X #2. Not getting it, by the way. Update.
Oh, yeah? You couldn't get it through that first one?
I can't. You know, like I told you, I go, oh, yeah, the art looks fine. And then when we actually got to the shop, I looked at it, and I couldn't get past it. So...
Yeah, that art. I mean, that's just too alienating. You got to make it a little.
All their faces looked weird. Did you know? This is probably a little before your time, but Eon Flux used to be on MTV, the anime, and their faces look kind of weird, like they were warped, like they were constantly being sucked into something, and that's how everybody looked in that book. So. Oh
yeah, that. Like I didn't even read any of the script, and I looked at your issue last week, and I was like, "Fuck this."
Hulk #6. This is you still getting Hulk, Garrett?
Yeah, it is so good. Like, who's the writer? Yeah, Mariko Tamaki, who's doing the Supergirl being super mini right now. Like, I think this person is definitely someone you should keep your eye out for whenever he's doing a book, because he is just killing it. Or is it she? I don't know if it's he or she, but that the Hulk story is really good. Like, it flips. So you know how like Totally Awesome Hulk I never wanted to read because it just seems like stupid? Well, this is the complete opposite. It takes you back to that fear aspect where she is terrified of becoming the Hulk again.
Well, it makes more sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, because like ever since the whole Civil War thing, like she's lost control of. She doesn't have control over the Hulk anymore. So when the Hulk becomes the Hulk, it's like brainless Hulk, just rampaging. Yeah,
and I mean she's always had it anyway, so like it makes sense that naturally she would be Hulk. You know what I mean? It's like, you know,
right.
We've talked about on the show before. Rather than making a new character and have him take over the mantle, you have people there that are more worthy to take it over, and I think she's one of them actually.
Oh, absolutely.
You still getting Man Thing #4 or 5?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this series. I don't know if it's just because like I'm a huge R.L. Stine fan, but like and he does a little. And not anthology, but a little side story on the end of each issue that's like 3 pages, and it's just like little horror stories, so it's fun. Like it makes me think of Swamp Thing if I never knew what Swamp Thing was, because like Man Thing's different obviously, but it's kind of, you know, being sponsored by and friends with John Boylan, who tells us everything about Swamp Thing. This is a fun parallel to that story.
Yeah, they came out around the same time, and they constantly like, well, I don't coincidentally crossover, like have the same kind of concept. So,
right.
Moon Knight #14. So this is almost the end, right, of his run. It's what is it, 15 going to be?
I thought this was the end.
Is it? You know,
yeah.
I thought that too. And then I looked at the solicit and just what a long string. It doesn't look like an epic throwdown. Who will survive? Hey, this might be the last one. Yeah, you're right. Okay, never mind. For some reason, I read it being like, this is going to be the fight, and there's going to be one more of like the conclusion. But now that I actually read it, it does seem like this is it. So
right. I mean, I've loved the story, but it's if I knew it was going to keep going, I'd be more excited. But I know after this, Jeff Lemire and what's his face are leaving. The artist,
Greg Smallwood.
Greg Smallwood.
I liked it a lot, but I think it's good that it's ending at 14. Like it's like one of those, like I just talked about with Sex Criminals. The concept of this story is great and how they're dealing with that, but like eventually, if we're in this too much, then it's going to be like what are we doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's get
Right.
over this thing. Let's do something new. And 14, I think, that's good enough. So let's do
I
this.
agree.
And Moon Knight functions better as 12, 14 issues doing one thing and then go ahead and do something else. So,
Right. That way someone else can creatively do what they want with him.
yes. Old Man Logan number 24. Is this Jeff's last one, or when's Jeff jump off?
Yeah. No, this is the last one for him too. Jeez, he's doing 2 ends this week. This has been okay. I think me and Alex have mentioned this. This arc would have been way better if Sorrentino was on art. I know that he got taken for Secret Empire, but still, it's kind of a letdown as a fan that like he couldn't just finish this last arc with Jeff. So I know I feel alienated a little bit, but like the story's been good because he's going through all his past memories. But I don't know. I'm ready for it to be over. But I'm excited. Like I'm going to stay on the book because I have hope that Ed Brisson and Mike Diodato like can take it somewhere fun and interesting. And if it doesn't, well, I'll just drop it. So
I do like the that arc. That our first arc is going to be Maestro versus Old Man Logan.
Yep.
I think that's interesting. I like that. I was like, oh, okay, that was cool. I like that.
Yeah. It's just kind of like, I'm kind of getting sick of Old Man Logan. Like, I mean, as a character.
Well, he's like in
starting
everything.
to be like, he's like Wolverine before he died. He was in everything. So I'm ready to see some new takes and hopefully make him more scarce. Like, I want him more ferocious. Like, I want the old Wolverine back. The more I think about it, like, I like Old Man Logan, and it was cool because the Logan movie was coming out. Everyone's for that, but now I think it's just, let's get back to young Wolverine. Like, it's time.
Yeah, he should only be like in 2 books, maybe max.
Or he can be in Canada taking care of Canada's crime, but I don't care. Just bring Wolverine back.
Secret Empire number 3 of 10. Of 10 now. It used to be 9, but they added one more. But so this is what I was talking about. We have Rod Rice doing art. Andrea Sorrentino's doing some pages. I looked at the preview. There were some pages by him, but not everything. Nick Spencer obviously writing it. It looks like this is so far. The first issue was mainly about Cap and everything. The second one was New York, and this one looks like it's about Captain Marvel and everything outside of Earth.
Right.
So, out of everything that happened on that day or happens in Secret Empire, I think that part of it might be my part that I'm least interested in. But, well, I guess we'll see what happens. But
right. Because, like, it's just going to be like Civil War. There's just going to be, I don't know. Like, yeah, you're right. It's interesting, but it's not like the most interesting thing I'm looking forward to.
It's going to be a lot of them being in the dark, not knowing what's going on, and then trying to get through the force field. It's like, what else can it be? You know what I mean?
Right.
Them fighting the Chikari, but that's it. And then, trying to stay alive.
Yeah. Chari have been involved too much already, I think, so.
But I do enjoy Rice's art, so I got that.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
And Sorrentino, so. Secret Empire Uprising number 1. This is the part actually of that first issue, I believe it was, that interested me the most was Black Widow going off and training these kids. But
God, I know. That's what makes me want to get it.
Me too. But it doesn't interest me enough to pay $5 to get a side story. And it doesn't say, is this it though? Like, is this a one shot? Or
make it seem like.
Because it doesn't say of something, but it doesn't say that's a one shot either. So if this was a one shot, I would think about it more.
It bridges issues 3 and 4, which I don't know if that's a good thing. Because I guess you have to read 3 first, then read this.
Yeah.
God, I don't know. Maybe I'll look more into it before tomorrow. But God, it looks good.
Yeah, that's part when she went off and did that. I was like, oh, I want to see that part of it. And then I saw this book was coming out, and I was like, oh, I got to get a side book to read that story.
Yeah. You should look at the preview art, like the artist. That's good art, too.
Joshua Cassera. Let's see here. Let's look at Joshua's art here.
Yeah, it looks pretty damn good.
Yeah, I like that. I like that style.
I might get it. I don't know.
That's how they get you.
I know. But if it's a mini series, that'll be rough. But, I won't be fooled by all the other ones. But this one actually seems cool. Black Widow, training the Kid Avengers to fucking be the new Red Room. So
yeah, that's part of interests me the most. So we'll see how it goes. Actually, Secret Empire, on the scale of me not liking it, it's kind of like in that 7 area, 7.5 right now.
Right.
So it's not like not blown away by it, but I'm not like, oh, this is shit. Like Civil War 2 was like horrible for me.
Right.
Star Wars, Dr. Aphra. Did you get Dr. Aphra?
No, I never thought she was justified to have her own comic. So.
Oh, okay. I thought because you got Darth Vader, you get this, but
no. But when Darth Vader comes out, I'm getting the shit out of that book.
Oh, it's coming back out?
Good. Yeah, Charles Soule's doing it with somebody.
Well, that's weird. They're relaunching it. That's weird.
Well, yeah, they're relaunching it, and it takes place right when Darth finds out about Padme, and when he becomes Darth Vader for the first time.
Oh, okay.
So it's like his first mission.
That's interesting. Yeah, that sounds cool.
The art's really good.
Do you know who it is?
I can't think. I know it's coming out here in June. Let me check.
Okay. Well, you think about that. Let me talk about Saga 43. It's coming out tomorrow. It's going to be the first issue in a new arc. And to celebrate 25 years of Image Comics, it's only going to be 25 cents. So if you're looking to jump into Saga, you can on this issue. There's a lot of things that have happened. So like if you are planning to read all of Saga, maybe don't jump into this because it's going to ruin a lot of things. However, if you don't know, hey, I don't know, I'm sure if I'm into Saga, but it kind of looks interesting, I would get this. It's 25 cents. You know what I mean? 25 cents. Get how to get it.
Okay, Marvin. So yeah, I'm going to steal the thunder a little bit.
All right.
Guess who's doing the art? I forgot this was who it was. Giuseppe Camuncoli.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Shit, and then the preview art looks amazing. And there's even the origin of how Darth makes his own lightsaber.
When does that come out?
Looks like June. It just says June.
So not too far away. I'm sure we'll talk about it on the forecast when it comes out.
Oh, yeah. Super fun.
I think the last thing on this list that you brought up was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 2017 Annual #1. That's
right.
Hey, I like that cover. It's pretty sweet.
It is cool. Like like the first annual, the 2016, like the cover was awesome. And you actually I think you get like 80 pages. I mean, you're paying $8. So you better get something. But like that, like Boom Studios, I give them credit. Like their cover stock is always great. Their paper stock's great. Like when I hold an issue, I'm like, I know I'm getting my money's worth. So that's the best thing about Boom. But then again, they only have like 8 titles. So
yeah, they do. They have some good books too. Not stuff that we mention much on the podcast, like this one. I do like Giant Days from them. That's pretty cool. If you want to read something that's just about people in college, that's pretty cool. I looked at the art actually in that annual. It looks pretty good. So, I mean, if you are into that movie, maybe pick up that annual, see if you're into that comic. Yeah. Those are all the books for May 31st. This is coming out the day before Wonder Woman hits, so I just wanted to mention quick. Looks like it might be good, Garrett.
I know, I'm getting super pumped, man. You shouldn't have showed me that thing on our Facebook chat. He showed me the reviews. And
I couldn't help it. I was so surprised that it was that high. I
know, it's kind of sickening to me that like I was more excited to see the score. Okay, holy shit. I gotta say this. So I just checked the score again, and it's still where it's at, Marvin. But I saw it dip to 96, now it's back at 97.
Yeah.
That's fucking great. Like that rewards my faith in DC movies. Like, and then knowing that Jeff Johns, this is the first movie that he's in on. Like, I'm super stoked. Like, I'm so proud of DC and Jeff Johns and the whole team. Like, that's awesome.
If you like scroll down around Tomatoes, you can really like basically the headlines of those reviews. And I read a couple of them, and a lot of them sound like when I see Jeff Johns writes a story and he gets praised for it. It's a lot of the same thing. Light. What's the word I'm looking for? Light. Hopeful. That's the word. Yeah. Hopeful. Yeah. Colorful. And I was like, oh, that's Jeff Johns. And I was
right.
Like,
and so like before, me, Alex, and Marvin were all like, we're excited, but we're nervous. Now I'm just fucking excited to see this movie. I can't help myself.
Not to say that anybody else on that project, like Patty Jenkins, had nothing to do with it, but I'm saying a lot of those words are associated with Jeff Johns' stories. So I assume he has a lot to do with it. But I don't know. I mean, that's speculating, but I'm excited for it. Yeah. So we'll go see it on Thursday. We'll review it on this week's show and let everybody know what we thought about the whole movie. Let us know if you're going to go see it. Email us at WednesdayComics65@gmail.com or let us know what you're picking up this week on Twitter. Go ahead and tweet us at Wednesday Comics, at Garrett at Garrett2188, me at Marvin _SALGUERO. Don't tweet at Alex. He's not here today. Actually, tweet him. Ask him where he is. He's still out there. He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know the temperature.
Yeah,
I heard he's just wetting his finger and sticking it in the wind and seeing what the temp is. Find us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, and subscribe to the show so you can get that Wonder Woman review when it comes out on Sunday. Garrett, did you have anything to say as a sign off? Because I've been Marvin.
Well, I've been Garrett, and I'm going to say stay wet and keep reading.